Good evening. So this video is about form goggles. So we were sent these goggles about 4 or 5 months ago from the guys at Form. So just for the purposes of clarity and openness, we didn't pay for these. The guys at Form were kind enough to send us a pair for us to try with the squad. So we have a squad of a couple of hundred swimmers across the UK, and they thought it would be good for the coaches to have a play around with these and get some feedback. So this is a bit of a review of these goggles. Now, it's an honest review. I'm not into saying things just for the sake of saying it, because we've been sent some kit. So we will never. We will only ever say things which we believe in, okay? And we'll only ever promote products which we believe in. Anyway, so we were sent these about 4 months ago. I've used them maybe half a dozen times, and Corin in the squad, one of the coaches in the squad, has also used them. So we've got some experience of what these things are like to use as both a coach and an athlete. Now, there's some recent updates have just been released from Form over the last couple of days, or at least they've released the information of updates that are about to come. So we'll have a little chat about that. But I'm not a super reviewer, so this is very much other people are much better at in-depth reviews than that, than me, if that makes sense. So what this is about is just purely an overview and a real life coach's, like I say, an athlete's perspective of what these things are like to use. Okay, so first of all, they turned up, nice box. They came from the States, I believe, so took a while to get here, but they got here no problem. So in the box, which we've obviously opened, so in the box was a nice case for the Form goggles that they come in. Go through what else is in there in a second. And then in the box itself are the goggles, all sitting nice and snugly in there, look. The goggles themselves. Now, when they did come, they had film over them. They were nicely packaged. And my first impressions were, yeah, they look pretty big. They look pretty big. And I was a bit concerned about what they were going to be like to wear. Now, I usually wear another brand of goggles, which I've always worn Swan's goggles, because I don't know if it's the shape of my eye sockets or what, but they're the only goggles I've ever got that don't leak. So when I got these, I thought they're going to leak. They're absolutely guaranteed to leak. So we'll have a chat about what happened once I actually got to wear them properly in a minute. But so they come in the box, and you get various other bits and bobs. So you get all these nose bridges and things. Look, so I'm not sure if I had to change them. I can't remember, but they're very easy to change. Just clip out one side, clip out the other, and then put the new different nose bridges in. And just, you have to play around with them, experiment with them, and just see how will they fit onto the face. Okay. So as you can see there on the one side, we have the big, well, it's fairly large, I guess, the unit which has got all the kind of wizardry in it. This is the on-off button, and it changes the mode, and also the charging ports are on the outside here. When you get the watch, I can't show it to you now, but you get a little cable with a charger on, which connects up to here. I think it's a magnetic thing, and you charge up. Okay. So I actually hope we've got some charge left in here now. I'm not sure you'll be able to see inside there yet. So that's on. Now the chances of you actually being able to see anything through there is pretty slim. Maybe if we go that way a little bit. I thought I saw a little bit of something, maybe not. I can assure you it's there. We can just see it flashing past the yellow. Look, I'll show you a video anyway, and there's loads of videos online to see what it looks like. But basically, you have a swim mode in there, and you can press these mode buttons on the top, and it changes the various different modes. Now, in simple terms, what you get is the ability to have a few different timers, which will count the distance per length, and also the overall lap time, so however long you've been swimming for in total. And what else does it do? It gives you the distance as well. So when I used these, like I say, I was very skeptical about whether or not they would leak, first of all, and I was pleased to say they didn't leak. I was amazed, absolutely amazed. Like I say, all I've ever kind of managed to do is find swans, and the only ones that haven't leaked for me. So I've used these, and they didn't leak. They didn't leak. In fact, the only time they did leak was when I pushed off the wall, and I just don't think I had them quite seated properly. Pushed off the wall and got some water in there, but that happens with normal goggles anyway. We've got some comments coming in. This is obviously live, so if you've got any comments, you've got any experience about these, or you've got any questions while I'm on, then feel free to fire away. I don't know how long this is going to go on for. I'll go on until I've covered everything, but feel free to crack on and send some questions in and some comments in. Got some coming in already. So yes, so I was a bit skeptical. I kind of thought, swimming, gadgets, numbers right in front of your eyes, how's it going to work? And you know, my first impressions were, I actually kind of really liked it. I liked the ability for the first time ever to have real-time data in front of me. Real-time, knowing what your pace is real-time, knowing how far you've gone, although that's not that important because most people can count a few lengths. But knowing how well the pacing was working, you know, if you're going to do a CSS test, you're going to time yourself over 400, then you can see where you are as you progress through. So pacing, it works really well for pacing. And this I'm talking about this from a swimmer's perspective at the moment, but we'll have a chat about from a coaching side in a minute. So yeah, that worked really well. So I liked having that data in front of me. It did take a bit of getting used to, because you're looking at something. It's kind of slightly difficult to describe, but it's obviously right in front of your field of vision. Now I've actually got dodgy eyes anyway. So my right eye is my good eye, and my left eye is my bad eye. I've got dodgy vision in my left eye, and this happened to be, I think you can wear it on any eye, but I had it on my right eye, my good eye, so I could see what it said. But of course, that knocked out effectively the good eye that I do use most of my seeing with. Sounds a bit weird, that, but so I guess it was probably worse for me than it would be for other people because of that. But it was just a little bit kind of weird getting used to having something in your vision there. It also, for me, distorted the lines on the floor of the pool and where the wall was. But again, that might be just me. I think there was a certain amount of me just getting used to that. And I say my vision's a bit funny anyway. But it wasn't a biggie. Got used to that. After you finish the workout, you can upload it to your Garmin and your I think it's got an iPhone app. I haven't really used that, so I can't really talk about that very much. I'm really talking about just the actual kind of practical use of these things. Diving in, I didn't do any diving in these. I think Corin did a few dives, and I wouldn't recommend that you dive in with these on. I'm not sure what Form themselves say about that, but they are quite big units and they can catch the water. So just be wary of that. You may get away with it, you might not, but just some kind of comments on that really. Same with tumble turning. I'm not aware of any issues. I don't think Corin, because she tumble turns all the time, didn't mention any issues in terms of tumble turning with them on. We only really do front crawl, so that's this is coming from very much from a front crawl perspective. Again, no issues with that kind of stroke. We found the accuracy to be good. The accuracy was very good. The only thing that it seemed to do, which was a bit weird, was that it would kind of give you a super fast first length, and then it would almost kind of catch up with the pacing. So, you know, I don't know, say if you're swimming at 130 per 100 for the first 25 meters, it would say you did it in 123. And then it would kind of catch up. So maybe if Form are watching, you send us some feedback on that. It did seem to do that quite a lot. And it was a bit weird, but once you got used to it, it was okay. And if you're doing longer intervals, it doesn't really matter that much anyway. And the overall timer was right. So I couldn't kind of figure out what was going on with that, but that's something for you to look out for. But in overall summary, as a user, then yeah, I enjoyed them. I really enjoyed using them, and I think I will continue to use them. And I would recommend that. Yeah, I would. I'd recommend that the squad use them as well. They are expensive. I think they're $199. I should have checked that before I came on, but I think they're $199, which is a lot of money. I'm not sure what the life would be like. Obviously, we've probably swum with them for about a month before we went into shutdown. But for that kind of money, you would like to think they're going to last. Obviously, goggles classically kind of start to break down on the inside and they start to fog up and you're having to clean them and all this kind of stuff inside. How long these will last, I don't know. I don't know. So it'd be interesting to get some feedback on people who've got some long-term use of these. But if they last and you get a lot of use out of them, I mean, we swim most days, then yeah, I guess you could justify that, especially if you start using the data and uploading it to whichever software app you use, then that would be worth it, I guess. Now, from a coaching perspective, I just said I would recommend them to the squad. Now we have 20 to 30 squad swimmers a day, ploughing up and down the pool. They're strictly timed. We have beepers. We have them all on beepers, so everyone knows what the pacing groups are, and it's quite regimented. Now, what I wouldn't want is for everyone to be these to be affecting the quality of the way the session runs. Because if one person's got these on and everyone else is working on the beepers, then it's going to start throwing things out, because we generally work as a team. And like I say, we work in paced groups. So if you've got one person who's swimming at a different pace because they've got these on, then it's going to cause havoc. So from that perspective, no, I wouldn't use them in a squad environment. But if somebody's happy to, or somebody can make it work and work with the squad with these on and not cause chaos, then I absolutely wouldn't mind it. Obviously, if you're swimming alone, that's fine as well. Wouldn't have a problem with that either. So what's really important, and I guess one of the reasons I'm doing this review now, is we've been on lockdown for 8 weeks or thereabouts, and more of the guys and girls are just about to start going open water swimming. And Form have just released an update, which I think is going to change this product, take it to another level. And I think I'll give you an over. In fact, what I'll do is I'll play the video. It's probably the easiest thing. Form have given me permission to play this video on here. It's a public video anyway, so I'm going to play it on here and have a little chat about it afterwards. So give me 2 seconds. There we go. So I don't know if you actually saw that. It was quite quick. Let's see if we can get it on. See if we can get it on again. Where are we? Let's try and get that on again. There we go. So a little snippet of what's coming for these. So it's an update which is about to be released, which means that this will communicate with, I think it's the Garmin 945 and some models of the Garmin Fenix and the iPhone. Sorry, the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch. So they're going to get those devices to be able to communicate with this. I think it's coming through a software update for these goggles, which if you've already got them, you can still apply the update. And the data, including heart rate, I believe as well, will start coming through to the goggles. All right, so that's going to be a bit kind of revolutionary as far as knowing your speed and distance in the open water. Because normally in the old days, you're kind of relying on feel. And I guess you could plan out the kind of course and know which particular points are at what distance and that kind of thing. But this is going to give you real-time speed and pacing data. All right. So for people who are doing longer distance swims, say Ironman swims, that kind of thing, it'd be quite nice to know exactly how far you've gone and what your timing is like and that kind of thing. So that's a really interesting update. Now, I mentioned the 945, Garmin 945, the Fenix, and the Apple Watch. All of those things are pretty expensive. I've actually got a 935. I quickly checked to see which watch I had. I got the 935, so it won't work for me. But I understand they're going to be adding it to a few other watches at some point. That's my understanding of it. I even kind of thought, can I justify buying a 945 just to kind of test this feature out? And they are 450 quid. So the answer to that is no. I'm not going to be able to do that. But those of you that can, then great. I'd love to have some feedback on it, because I think it'd be really interesting to be able to use these in the open water. So I think that is pretty much it. So in summary, I like them. I do like them. They take a bit of getting used to. The accuracy seems good. Like I say, there is this kind of weird lag thing on the first length, but overall the accuracy seems good. For me, they didn't leak. How long they last for, again, I'm not really sure. And this open water update I think is really going to be exciting. So I think that's all for today. I got a comment from Ian. He's obviously got a pair of these. He says, I love them when I had a go. Very odd at first, but good bits of kit. So there's someone else there, just Ian Dickens there, has just said the same, pretty much the same kind of thing as me. So hopefully found that useful. Like I say, not a super in-depth review, because that's not my thing. I'd rather do coaching. But a bit of a summary and an overview from our experience on these things. So this is the Form swim goggles. All right, so give them a go. See you next time.